Hello, I'm the Smoking Cheddar, but you probably already knew that, as that's the name of my channel, believe it or not. So, during last week's stream, there was a request, I believe, for some field infantry, which is quite handy because I happened to build my own field infantry only in the previous conquest, previous L4. And you can't get this officer anymore. So, for those of you who are unable to do this build, you have my apologies. I don't normally include officers that are difficult or impossible to get, such as this officer. But we will be discussing this build in its entirety and how it works. And we will be doing that through the usual means of looking at the tech, both advanced and as far as I've got in the modern tree. Do excuse me. That's my dinner repeating on me. And we'll be looking at fucking Jesus Christ, I feel like I've just woken up. The tech, the parts, the gear, that's it. That's what I was trying to remember, because last week I forgot the gear, didn't I? I think it was last week. And we'll also be looking at the officers, their trained abilities, and how I use it. Now, I won't show you the battle reports. I did that in last week's stream. It's safe to say I get a very high kill rate in this, but it's a fairly good build. It's a fairly good build. So, what we're going to do is we're going to crack on with it. Because I'm feeling rather tired today. I think I actually have just woke up. I did have a nap on the sofa. Maybe that's why I'm feeling absolutely terrible. Anyway, here is my base, getting ready to go into gold 3 for the key. I also, before I forget, there should be, I'll just double check quickly, in the description box of this stream, there should be 2 codes. Now, the devs gave me these for my live streams just before Christmas. I have decided to use them on the last one of the year. They are first come, first serve. So once they are gone entirely. So please just get your fingers on them as quickly as possible. I have handed them out to the alliance I'm with, Croat, and all I got back, I believe, was just a smiley face for handing out my. I didn't even get that. Okay, but whatever. Saying thank you might be nice, guys. It's only 1 gold. So let's have a quick look at the tech. We'll start off with the tech. We'll move on to the modern tech. Then we'll look at the gear, and then we'll look at the officers and how we've set them up. Now, infantry for me in advance is complete. And as always, you should probably get your main tree completed at the very least. We're using the bunker damage resistance coefficient, which is 10%. We're actually using Martyr Watch. So we'll be using this Martyr Watch infantry, take 5% less normal attack damage, and increases the damage resistant troops of all allied troops within their protection range by 1%. That's quite key. So obviously we're going to want the damage intensity, the firepower, the HP, all that good stuff, and we're also going to want secondary weaponry firepower upgraded as well, as always. Onto the modern tree, because we're all the way down here. And much as before, if you can get this completed for a field build, fantastic. I believe survival suits is it for Martyr Watch. We get infantry troop is it while a Martyr's watch infantry troop is attacking an enemy troop, it gains 0.5% bunker damage resistance per second, up to 5% for 10 seconds. So basically, the longer we're in combat, the harder we are to kill, which is going to be the running theme of this build. Obviously, infantry, HP, firepower, intensities, all that goodness as well. I know we go over these every single unit build, and this evening I can't really be bothered to go into too much depth. Those of you who are repeat listeners or viewers know the drill by now. If it is a field unit, we're looking for HP, we're looking for intensity and firepower, we're looking for intensity versus specific units like tanks or artillery, and blast damage resistance. Anything that we might encounter out in the field, this is not going to be something that's going up against a base. So garrison intensity or damage resistance bonuses, things like that, we can skip over. Firepower is not particularly as important as damage intensity, but we will need to pick it up in the tech trees regardless. Let's have a quick look at the manual to have a look at the unit proper. And here you can see we have fortified bunkers. We get a camp bonus of higher HP and lower firepower. And enhanced bunkers, we receive less damage than other infantry types while in bunker mode. This is why we have gone for Martyr. There's also another reason why we've gone for Martyr, and we're now going to quickly slide into that once we've just compared, say, the Vanguard. So the Vanguard, because I'm running 9.0 at the minute, we've got 394 firepower and 189 in HP, compared with 325 and 232. So, I mean, it's not really that much difference, but we get nicer bonuses in terms of survivability out in the field. Now, the additional reason why we're going for Martyr is field infantry is if you click on this button here that says exchange, and then you go down here to unit skins, you get this golden elegance skin. Now, the reason why this is good is because it gives us 7% unit firepower, which is huge, because that means we're now going to probably be dealing more firepower than the Vanguard. The difference is Vanguard gets a natural critical strike rating of 5%, but that's not really that much of an issue, as you will see going forwards. Now, components. I can just show you mine, actually. We've basically got a tanking build. It's just HP in the optional slots for 4. We have the Gold Plus parts, HP speed, HP resist, and firepower and blast radius for the grenades. And we're mostly focusing on defensive systems for modern mechanic. If we can get it all unlocked, that's even better. I haven't bothered redistributing my spanners. I'm only doing gold for the singular conquest in order to get myself my gold key. So I'm not too worried about redistributing these. Now, onto the meat of it, the officers. As I alluded to at the start, we are using... I've gone past him, haven't I? We're using Warrior Wiz. Now, he's quite a good officer. He's, in my opinion, he's still one of the best officers that you can have in this game. But he has a couple of utility points and a pretty good skill that we do want to use. So once he is awakened, his tactical skill is increased. So he does the 1500 damage coefficiency, but then he fires out a 300 damage coefficiency slug towards the target, which then reduces the target damage resistance by 15% for 4 seconds. This is why we have him on as the captain, so the aide can deal more damage. But that's not the only reason why we have him. We do have a natural critical strike rating of 10% with him on board. We also have this Master Hacker. Whenever this officer's troop attacks an enemy ground force troop, there's a 15% chance of resetting the target's load time and preventing them from attacking for a whole second. It can trigger once every 8 seconds. We've got a 15% chance. Now, if you've ever seen infantry shoot, they shoot remarkably quickly. Just for demonstration here, if I may. That's quite often those numbers are popping up. That's quite often indeed. And you've got a 15% chance. Now, if you can pop one of those off every couple of seconds, that's absolutely fantastic. Because in a straight up 1-versus-1 fight versus you and another tank, they're going to be getting their attack reset almost constantly. So it's an exceptionally good officer to have out in the field. And he's even marked as versatile in field. But we also get this. We get damage intensity bonus of 15% plus an additional 4.5% if we are over 1 map grid away, which is obviously the maximum range the infantry can fire. So we do kind of want to think about our positioning a little bit when we're using him, but it's not that important. For the train skills, we are going for a normal attack boost. If you cast your mind back to the normal attack resilience, which is what we are looking to avoid taking damage from out in the field. And we also get a bonus here from this balance skill of normal attack resilience, both up to 25%. That comes from the new officer, by the way. He is pretty good, and he was a contender to go on this, but you'll see why I haven't put him on here as we go forwards and explain. We've also got Deadeye on here at the moment. These two skills aren't leveled up. They're not a priority for me. But this will be going up to obviously 15% critical, which means we'll have a total of 25% chance to land a crit with a 15% chance of resetting the target's load time. Now, I had considered having Margarita as the aid because that special skill will stack extremely nicely with her shock ability. And indeed, it would do. And she has a very high skill shot. We've also got a nice bit of damage intensity in there. And we've also got a chance to avoid incoming attacks, as well as more damage intensity. And I had thought about this to some extent. But what I've actually gone for is Lonesome Start. Now, you'll realise that he is not awakened. He is only 5, 4, 4, and 4. But don't let that fool you. He is exceptionally deadly out in the field, even at this level. So we've gone for normal. We've gone for normal attack resilience yet again. This is just absolutely key for us because we can then retreat this field unit into the base and use it as a defensive unit on top of that, giving ourselves an additional 10% normal attack resilience to the base. And we do have a trained in damage intensity of 15%. Now, I've done this the other way around because I want to get to the reason why. Because although I don't have him awakened, which gives us a skill resilience and our nearby non-fortification unit types will receive 2% less damage. That's handy if you're rolling him in with tanks and helicopters and things, which obviously I am not, but should you choose to do so, that is quite good. It also means in army groups, this infantry is going to absolutely smack. But what we really want him for is his skill shot. Because quite often in field fighting, you're going to be getting attacked by and be able to hit multiple targets, deals damage to an enemy coefficiency of up to 1500, and has a 50% chance to attack an additional 3 enemy troops for 750 coefficiency adjacent to the target, which is absolutely brilliant. We also get a shield at 30%, which it's a 30% chance on attack that we get a shield for up to 500 coefficiency. I get my words straight in a minute. I'm still half asleep. And this can be triggered once every 8 seconds. This is going to count towards our survivability. It's going to stack with all of that nice HP, all of that goodness, all of that damage resistance. This is going to give us a little extra survivability out in the field when we're coming up against things like tanks and helicopters that are blued up, that are ready to absolutely slap us. We also get bonus HP of up to 25% and a blast mitt bonus of 200, because it's only a matter of time before someone decides to send a rocket launcher truck out to deal with you. My advice, should you be using this build, is to close that gap with that rocket launcher truck as soon as possible and engage it first. It worked. This officer's infantry troop also has its skill damage boost by up to 30%, which means our skill shots are going to hit absolutely hard. Now, what gear are we using? Oh, we can actually use it from the gear screen, can't we? What gear are we using? Okay, so on Warrior Wiz, we are using this tactical knife because we get damage intensity bonus of up of 9.9% currently, and damage resist of 9.9% because of the level being 21. And on our aid, we are using this level 9 tactical shotgun thing, which gives us 7% skill boost, a normal attack boost of 7%, and an HP boost of 14%. But because it's a legendary item and it's over level 5, whenever this troop attacks, it deals skill damage to the target coefficient of 30. This effect can be triggered one time every 2 seconds. This can be triggered one time every 2 seconds. That number only goes up. Like when we get to 40, that goes up to 200. That goes up to 200 on infantry. Every time we attack, that's basically going to be going off every 2 seconds. You're just going to be bombarding them with 200 skill shot. So guess which one I am going to be massively leveling. And I'm also going to be leveling this one in the meantime until I have decided which other legendary one is going to be going on to my infantry for the field. Obviously, in the meantime, while that's not on my infantry in the field, that will be on a defensive unit or perhaps on a base-to-base unit, depending on the situation. So those are the gear, and that gear is exceptionally good. Now, something I did pick up on during the week is this screen, the Expedition Hall gear section, and as you level up your gear, you get these additional stats: base HP, ground force firepower, naval force firepower, and it goes on and on and on and on, making gear exceptionally powerful because these are relatively low targets. I mean, okay, 300k seems like it's really far away, but this has been out like a couple of weeks and I'm already nearly at the 300k, and I haven't put any money into this at all. This is just what I've got through natural rolls and absolutely everything else. So that is fantastic. That's absolutely amazing. Keep an eye on this screen. For those of you who just missed it, it's this little star flag down here. When you are on the officer's screen, you click on the gear icon and then it sends you to the gear officer screen. And then you can then click on this little flag in the bottom. That then sends you to this stats screen where we can look at the bonuses. And we can see what bonuses are currently being applied, which is 1.5% HP for ground force troop, base normal attack damage resistance at 3%, and base's officer damage resistance is 3% as well. So we're looking at resisting a little bit more damage on the base and out in the field. And obviously, once we hit the next level, we're going to get naval force HP, which is going to be fantastic because the Navy is where it's at. I do thoroughly enjoy the Navy at the moment, and that's not going to change anytime soon. So, what does all of this mean when it comes together? What does this look like when we stick it together? Well, this is a sustained fighting unit. We can send it in to enemy groups, providing there's no artillery in the vicinity. We should be pretty golden to start massive fights, 3-4 on 1. tanks and enemy infantry are not going to be able to knock this infantry unit down quickly enough, and you are going to be able to hit multiple targets while hindering incoming attacks. Now, if you do catch an enemy fast AG out in the open with this infantry squad, I can give it to you on good authority that this particular build is very, very good at taking out helicopters because they have relatively low HP and quite high firepower, and they're not very good at hitting bunkered infantry. So once you're bunkered down, this infantry is pretty much a solid counter out in the field, which is exactly how I used it. Now, I did show some battle reports in the previous live stream, and during said live stream, uh, I think we looked at how easy it was for me to like wipe out enemy rocket launcher troops. If you close that gap on enemy artillery as soon as it looks like it's about to get in range, wait for it to cross into that. We're now moving into the next map grid. That's when you want to go from the edge of their radius through their radius, because they'll stop, they'll prepare their fire, and before they're able to pop off 2 shots, 1 shot, however many, your machine guns are going to be opening fire from inside the bunker. And if you've been out in the field and you're under sustained attack, which is exactly what this build is designed for, you're going to be able to really hurt them. Not to mention, you've got a 15% chance in the first few seconds of being able to reset that load timer and prevent it from loading for another additional second. You're going to give yourself a massive, massive edge in combat. And then you've got the skill shot that's coming off. The skill shot is not going to be particularly hard hitting. It's infantry, the firepower is particularly low. We haven't stacked firepower in terms of parts or in terms of training. We've focused on HP, intensity, and resistances. That is because we're relying heavily on our normal attack damage, and the skill shot is really there just to back us up. So it does work, but it requires heavy micromanagement. Now, in terms of being placed into an army group and just being let to get on with it, it's going to, whoever you give this to is going to love it, because it's not going to be quite quick enough to go into a fast. So maybe an MBT group it'll be okay with, maybe a mixed group it'll be okay with. If this goes into an infantry group, that's going to be fantastic. But because of Lonesome Star being the aid, once he is awakened, you are going to give allied units within the area of effect of your bunker 2% damage reduction bonus. Then you're going to kind of want to have it in a mixed group. It's going to be more beneficial to have him mixed in with tanks, not necessarily light tanks and helicopters, but MBTs definitely. Maybe some infantry, maybe a couple of RLs, anything that is going to be moving medium distances away from bases that has multiple different types of unit damage in order to deal with many different enemy units. It's going to be very effective. Trust me, I know, I tried it. It is very good in the skirmish zones. It's fairly resistant to air attack as well because you're in a bunker. So once you're in a skirmish zone, you just have to have a fighter back it up. In fact, once you're out in the field, you have a fighter back it up. Then once your fighters have claimed air superiority around your infantry, you can then use your bombers at will. That's how I use this unit. That's exactly how I use this unit. I use it to send it out, hunker down, get attacked, be resistant, be resilient while dealing normal attack damage and killing enemy units. I then use my air assets to cover it and then pick off the bigger threats to the rear with the bomber, because there's nothing that they can do. They want to meet me in the sky or they're going to meet me on the ground. Well, if they're going to try and meet me on the ground, I've got infantry that is going to not only hold them in their tracks for a period of time, I've got infantry that is going to kill them. And because my infantry tech is fairly high and it's also affected by my Dominion tech, my infantry is just getting better. And that's why when it was mentioned in the chat last week that perhaps you guys would like to see another infantry build, I was more than happy to tell you about this and show you the battle reports then. Now, just remember, guys, there is some codes in the description box, as I've already mentioned. I'm feeling a little bit more alert now, which is obvious. And that's my shock troop. Does what it says on the tin, it goes in first. It holds up the enemy, causes problems. Should they decide to fight it one-on-one with the tank loses. I haven't fought a tank yet that has managed to beat it. I had considered using a myriad of different officer combinations, including but not limited to Lady Shadow for the high damage intensity and splash attack. Obviously, Margarita was on that list, as well as Golden Eagle, because they've all got high damage intensity or ignore damage, ignore resistances, etc., etc. These are all really good officers. They're all very good officers to choose from. But none of them are quite Warrior Wiz in terms of his utility and the fact that he gets critical strike. We can lower the target resistances. Once the target resistances are lowered, we're then hitting them with Lonesome Stars, 30% boosted, 1,500 skill shot. Boosted by 30%, hitting a target suffering from a 15% damage resistance reduction bonus. So, yeah, it's incredibly useful. We're not utilizing, like I said, high levels of FP. We're just using that damage intensity. And yes, it is live. It is live. You did manage to make one live this evening. I lost my train of thought. I can't remember where I was going with that. There was a point I was going to make that was outside of what I said earlier, but it's probably fairly obvious by now. Our infantry, as you can see, is nearing the end. I had considered completing this tree and getting the infantry to blue. It's not that hard for me to get this last section done, but we are focusing quite heavily over here on the Dominion. We're now moving into Vanguard firepower. We'll be doing the Martyr firepower last, although I will be using my Martyr infantry more and more as time goes forwards, and I will start recording or perhaps streaming more battles that it gets involved in. So if you just see an impromptu stream from me, just know that the battle's going well and I'm trying my best to get the content out to you as and when it happens. But the reason why we're going for the Vanguard Division firepower first is because it affects my ATG and it affects both of my fighters as well as my bomber for Silver 2 and Silver 1, which is what we're looking to drop back down into once we have our gold key. And Martyr firepower is only effectively going to be affecting one artillery piece, my infantry, and my armored destroyer, all three of which are extremely powerful and potent units, but I don't really need it at the moment. We now have 620 Dominion Core badges saved up for reset for this evening. And once reset hits, we're going to dump as much of that as we can to try and boost this Dominion Core up as high as possible. Hopefully we can get at least to 5 out of 8 on the Vanguard Division firepower. At least I'm kind of hoping, because obviously we're going to be going into gold with a 8.0 no 9.0. I know my stuff, I swear. 9.0 interceptor. It's not kitted out particularly well at the moment compared to what I will have it kitted out with in the coming months, but we're getting there. It's this firepower, I want to see that much higher. Once that firepower is exceptionally high, obviously that intercept is going to be dealing even more damage. Hello, McLovin. I look lovely every day for you, Danny. Now, before I go, or before we do anything else, I will just add this. I don't know if we can see it. The devs have looked to send me a letter, which I thought was nice, for my ongoing contributions to the Warpath community. I got myself a nice little bottle opener slash fridge magnet there from one of the worst officers going, but I'm not going to complain because, you know, it's a freebie. It's very nice of them. I do appreciate it. I also got this nice little postcard with a handwritten letter on the back, and I have posted that over on my Discord should you be interested in reading it. That's entirely up to you guys. But yeah, I thought that was nice of them because they didn't have to do that. Because I do shit on this game quite a bit sometimes for the problems it has, for the issues it's got. But I still play the game because I really like this game. I'd like to see it do better than what it is doing currently. And I think the devs could do that. I think that they're stuck between appeasing shareholders as well as trying to get the game going in a direction they want it to go. I'm not sure if the guys on the development team are driven more by having a good game or driven more by the financial incentives of having a game, which is effectively a gotcha game. But there's still nothing else quite like this available on the market. And until something better or something similar to this comes along on the market, where it's an ongoing, over time MMORTS, then I'm just going to carry on playing it. I'm going to keep on playing it until they shut the servers down. Plain and simple. What other officers had we considered for this build? We have... Join the Discord, it's a great place. Don't join the Discord. Don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Hang on, who was it they... Yeah, okay. So obviously we've got Bloody Mary. So we could just for the love of memes use Bloody Mary. To be fair, this awakened skill is actually pretty decent. It's just everything else that's attached to this officer is just complete hot trash. Not bad if you're in a pinch and you need some infantry to do some utility, but we're looking to actually hit a little bit harder than that, and we've got enough utility with Warrior Wiz, which is why we are using him quite specifically. Free pizza with every migrate. Yeah, well, you know. You're paying, apparently, so I don't mind. Fuck Discord. How rude. My Discord is a great place, I'll have you know. My Discord is an amazing place. This is my Discord, right here.
What kind of place is this?
That's my Discord. That'll never not be funny. That'll never not be funny. So, that's my infantry. That's pretty much everything covered about my infantry. I don't think I've missed everything. I've covered the parts, I've covered the gear, I've covered the trained skills, the reasons why we're using the officers, and how to use the unit. And the reason why we've picked Martyr is obviously because we get the skin for the bonus 7% firepower, and that gear screen is just absolutely... We're just going to bring that back up quickly, guys, because this screen here, I can't stress enough how important this is going to be going forwards. Where is the free pizza? Dude, just ask Danny. He's the one who said it. He's the one who's going to give you the pizza. You badger him for it. You think I'm going to give you pizza, dude? You seen the size of me? I eat the pizza. that I eat the pizza. It comes with the gift codes. Jesus, I wish it did. I wish it did. How's this turned into a stream about pizza? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you people? I guess the meme about my Discord server is true then. It is just a weird place with cheese and pizza and all sorts. Yeah, me too. I'm hungry. I'm hungry all the time. I'm in a calorie deficit and I have been for the whole year. And I'm grumpy because of it. Anyway, is there any unit builds you guys would like to see going into the new year? Or am I just going to be free reined to do whatever the hell I want? Seeing as you guys are active in chat, talk amongst yourselves while I have a sip of my cherry Pepsi.
Mic off. Mic on.
Because I'd like to go play something else this evening. Cheddar needs to have a classic skin. No, I'm not. I'm not. We've discussed this. You spent an extreme amount of money to get a classic skin. I'm not doing it. That was what, 750 quid for that one skin minimum. Nah, you're good, mate. You're good. I'll just sit here hoping that that goes over to 300 so I can get myself the Scorcher Sands before the end. So my artillery firepower goes up by another 2% for owning it. Yeah, get another 2% on the artillery firepower. Just for owning it. There we go. That's what I'm hoping for. Just that 2 more silver coins by the. I think I should get it. I think you get 5 for hitting every free one, don't you? Or something like that. You guys. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss other than the obvious pizza and what have you? Are there any questions you have? Any thoughts? Got any thoughts running around of those little heads of yours? Because if not, I'm going to disappear and go play Dark Souls. Or I might go play something else, like Assassin's Creed. I downloaded Assassin's Creed and I have. Oh my god, keep dropping shit. Fuck's sake. I swear to Christ, I'm gonna break that if it keeps falling off my desk. Will I be in Discord tonight? Yeah, I'll be in Discord in like 20 minutes. Well, the hour is late, Alex. You have arrived at the end of the stream, I'm afraid. What do I think about Hegemon? Not a great deal, to be honest. Hegemon is on whenever I'm like, okay, so those of you who don't know, I work from Saturday morning through till Sunday night. And when I say Sunday night, I mean like I don't get home until 11, 12 o'clock on Sunday night. You know, and then I'm at work from like 8:30 on Saturday morning. So Hegemon falls right in that gap. I couldn't tell you what I think about it because I've never played it. It's not true. I've played it twice. It's not really enough to have a good opinion on. I think one occasion I played it, there was half the amount of people turned up and no one on the other team, and vice versa. When I played it the second time, or it might have been the first time round, Hegemon is a good idea. What I don't like about Hegemon is the fact that I can't play it. It'd be nice if you could sign up to Hegemon whenever you liked, but the game lacks the numbers of players available to do that. Have I thought about creating Conquest content? Well, not really. I don't. it's not really worth it, is it? The amount of people out there that are doing big scale battles and everything else. Who the fuck wants to watch me run around a field in silver? Seriously. Enemies rarely show up. Yeah, that's the problem. It's because it's a fixed time. If you had it more like Operation Athena, if it was more like Operation Athena, where you could just queue for it and then it would go, I don't think there'd be a problem. I think you'd see more people turn up, and then you say have it go 2 or 3 times a week rather than once a week on the weekend. I can't play on the weekend. It annoys me. Afternoon Hellball. Um, so yeah, that's why I never do Hegemon. I never get a chance to do Hegemon because every time Hegemon's on, I'm at work. It's frustrating. It really is. The last time I had time off and I was able to do Hegemon, I ended up being busy because I don't get weekends free. Well, I mean, that's exactly what I was describing there, wasn't it? Is that if you just queued for Hegemon whenever you could, whenever you were active, and you just went into an open event, that would be fine. I think Hegemon would work better then. I don't think the system they have in place works particularly well. I think the system needs to change to be open to more players, but the biggest thing that needs to change. How many of you guys have recently made a new account? Because I had a friend, he knows I play this all the time. He tried making an account the other day, and they're still making you go through that first person shooter rubbish at the start. That's got nothing to do with the end game content that we're looking at here. You know, you've got to play for months to get to this stage. There doesn't seem to be any urgency by Lilith to get people in at this level, to get them engaged at this level, to get them in playing Conquest. I mean, the people who play Conquest are the ones who spend money, but there doesn't seem to be any real incentive by Lilith to make players come into the game to get to that stage, because when you open the game, the first thing you're met with is a rail shooter, and who the fuck plays this to play the rail shooter? What psycho goes, I'm going to open up Warpath on my phone or on the desktop to play a rail shooter? You've got to be a bloody psycho to be that sort of person, I swear to Christ. Insanity. It needs to just be removed from the game, or at least put as a background option for you just to sit and click at when you're bored. I mean, I can count on one hand how many times I've done it this year, and every time I've done it, I just thought to myself, well, that was a massive waste of 5 minutes. Could have spent it picking my nose on the toilet instead, but no, I ended up playing Hegemon. I feel like I've wasted time by playing that rail shooter rubbish. Anyway, that wasn't the question. The question was originally about Hegemon. I seem to have diverted myself into another area of the game. Well, that's because you're a smart guy, Jormungand. Yeah, they would. They would get a lot more attention if they promoted the part of the game that people are playing, but they don't. They haven't done. This is something I brought up with them this time last year and multiple times since then. I keep bringing it up over and over and over again, and they just be like, well, you know, it's okay. But if you go on the Lilith website now, if you go on the Lilith website, I went on there yesterday. Warpath's not even one of the headlining titles anymore. It's not on the front page. It used to be. It's not anymore. That's a worrying sign, because it just means that they've accepted the fate of the game. But as long as people keep putting money into the game, they'll keep the servers open, which is depressing, because it shouldn't go that way. This is a seriously good game, but we're looking basically down the bottom end of this game dying effectively. Will it die in the next year? Probably not. It'll keep going as long as people keep spending money on it. So if you want to keep the game going, you've got to keep giving them money. And then you've got people like me trying to show you how to make good builds out of free officers, telling you not to buy the packs on a regular basis. So I'm not really helping the situation either. I should really be encouraging you to spend money on the museums and executive officers and all that, but I just don't see the point. Until they address the fundamental issues with the game. Level 500 troops next, what do you think? Makes no difference to me. I ain't getting out. I hate leaving the safety zone of silver. I prefer silver because it allows me to play other things. I feel like whenever I play gold, I've got to be on 24/7. This alliance I'm in for a shock, massive shock once we go into conquest because I'm not going to be playing anywhere near as much as what they think. I'm going to be wanting to play Helldivers. I want to play the new Assassin. Well, say new. I want to play my Assassin's Creed games that I bought 2 years ago and still haven't bloody played, thanks to Warpath, because I've been playing Warpath pretty much non-stop. So level 500 troops makes no difference to me. I mean, hell, if they get sent up to 500, cool. Let the guys in Epic knock each other out with level 500 troops. Don't care. I know it's a horrible take, but that's what it is. I stay in my lane. My lane is silver, and I'm happy there. I can run more units at higher cap, and I enjoy it. Call it whaling, call it seal clubbing, call it whatever you like. I don't care. The games, you're supposed to have fun with video games, and I just don't find being tied to gold fun. What am I going to get with a gold key? I thought that'd be obvious. I thought that would be obvious. Apparently, it's not. Where is it? Brave Season 2. Boop. Is it on here? Is it on there? I keep forgetting. Do. Commander missions? No. Main page. Event info? Where is it? There is a specific page I want. I can't remember where it is. Maybe it's on here. On here? Yeah. Okay. What I want the gold key for, because I don't really care about the legendary key. I'm not going to be competing against people with large collectors, so there's no point in me going to get the legendary key, just wasting 30 days sitting in a safe zone resource farming for that. What I want is the museum coupon, because you get 20 of them for 5 gold coins, and each museum coupon is worth 100. That's an entire base skin. That's an entire base skin. And the rest of the things I want are in silver. City contribution badges, because I can convert them to Dominion core badges, the camp coupons, and the officer statues. I don't really want anything else. Those are the things that I want out of the keys. So it makes no point me going up to. Don't get me wrong. You know, skins are cool. Collection speed of 5% permanent, absolutely fantastic. But do I really want to just the hassle of going all the way up to legendary just to dump 60 of my gold coins when I could just use all of my gold coins on the museum coupons? Kind of doesn't really seem like it's worth it. So yeah, I'm just going there for the museum coupons. That's it. And once I've got all the museum coupons, we'll go into the exchange. I've currently got 1900. Well, just under 2k, or 1982. I think it was the year Return of the Jedi came out. We're looking at getting either So these limited offers pop up once every week. Once a month, you get a really good one. I'm waiting for the fighter skin, or I'm waiting for the gold artillery skin, both of which last 2 times they were on were about 4K. So I need my gold key because I need that 4K saved and ready to go for when those skins drop. That's what it's being used for. The 7% artillery skin is nice, but it's not what I'm after. I'm really after the fighter skin because that's going to give me more leverage with my air assets. What do I think of other Warpath players releasing pointless Warpath videos with AI voiceovers? Don't care. None of my business. None of my business. What other people do in their channels with their content, nothing to do with me. Don't care. I mean, yeah, sure, you probably find them boring, Jormungand. I find them boring as well, but it's ultimately, it's you know, if you're not interested in something, you just don't engage with it. You're here engaging with me, so you obviously find something about me interesting, and you don't find those AI generated videos interesting. The same as me. I just don't see the point in going down that road. Have you seen how many museum tickets for Ghost? No, I haven't seen how many museum tickets he has, but he's a hoarder, so I imagine he's probably got in the region of 6K. You can keep saying I look fine all you like. I'm not gonna respond to that. You're not watching me because I look good. Don't lie. You're not gay. We know you're not gay. I've heard your wife in the background when we were on Discord. Don't lie to me. It's all lies. The pizza was lies as well. You tell them. You tell them it was lies. You tell them it is lies right now. God, I could go for a pizza. Shame I live in the middle of the countryside. They don't deliver. Otherwise, I'd have one delivered. But there you go. Yeah, I do want a pizza. I do hope they release some more museum unit skins for infantry as well. I have asked through the content creators manager, whatever it was, if we could get some more infantry officers / soaking officers for the infantry to come in the next wave of officers, because we've not had an update for infantry soak since Everbloom. That's been like what, 2 fucking years, 3 years nearly. We're relying predominantly in terms of our infantry on
Sorry, was just going over the schematics in my head.
on old officers and versatile officers, because there's no. We got one new field officer, ooh, but we got no soaking officer, did we? We've got this guy. The amount of people running infantry as a field unit is fairly low. He's a brilliant field officer, absolutely fantastic. I hope at some stage to get him awakened myself, but I'm in no hurry to, because what's the point? The infantry officer I've just covered, the infantry build I've just covered, my shock troops, they're so violent, it's unfunny.
Machines will be indispensable in future warfare.
There's no one better for this mission than me.
You run 3 infantry units. That is because you are a legend. 2RL. God, you must be a sod to fight in the field. that is vicious. 3 infantry and 2 RL. That's nasty. That's really nasty. That'd probably be one of the only times as well I'd suggest even remotely consider running Champion of the People, because of the +1 map grid you get for free off a free officer. Be the only time I'd even remotely consider it. And even then, I'd probably pair her with someone like War Machine and go for the unit damage and reload time reductions rather than the actual skill shot. And then on the other one, I'd probably do like Argent Flame and Lady Shadow. Or maybe I'd do Lady Shadow with the +1 grid. Or maybe... Actually, no, I wouldn't. I'd probably... Frostfire? Frostfire? Get the +1 grid. A lot of damage intensity, field related, skill shot related for damage for clearing out enemy units at range. And then maybe just the standard Argent Flame Stinger Fist combo for the close range one. 3 infantry, you've got a lot of possibilities as well. You can do what we covered here. You could have Warrior Wiz, Lonesome Star then. You could probably rock a Liberty infantry with... Ooh, who would we put on the Liberty? Lots of utility. Go for Margarita. Lady Justice. Massive utility. Got critical strike in there as well. And then on the third, probably some Vanguard. Might go for Golden Eagle for that scale damage. Ignore target. Bonus crit. And then probably... Ooh. Decisions. Oh, actually, you know what? Where is he? Where'd he go? Where he at? You're like level 40 for me at the minute or something like that. No. Did I level him up? Just not using him? I'm being blind as shit. Rogue Edge and Golden Eagle. Yeah. That's what I'd do. Infantry are so nasty. I bet you had an absolute blast in the last conquest. I know I did. In the last conquest, I had so much fun in the skirmish zones actually using my infantry. Like, actually using them to fight tanks. So much fun. I was absolutely ripping people to shreds. It was horrific. And that was with the build that I just covered this evening. It was just so violent. People just didn't know how to deal with it. Yeah, infantry just dumps on everyone out in the field. Like I said, if they start bringing out artillery, infantry is quick enough to close that gap and start engaging the artillery units. Reinforcing infantry is quick as hell as well. It's hard to intercept the reinforcements for infantry. You can just pull them back to the rear of the fight and they can recover real quick. Not to mention while they're in a bunker, they're healing up if they're not engaged. Infantry are massively underutilized in my opinion. Spin wheel at reset. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Well, it sucks to be you then, doesn't it? I got 323. Which is a little bit less than what I had last time. I think I had 336 last time. So, that's my own fault, really. I dumped a little bit of gold this week on... gear keys and... Oh, I forgot to get those. Silly of me. I think I bought like one or two officer statues as well. So we can get our final naval officer up because we're now, what, 550 away from having him awakened, so he's not quite halfway yet, but we're getting there. He'll be awakened by the end of this conquest, so when we go back down to silver, I'm going to have a deadly navy. There's not going to be much that people are going to be able to do against me out in the water in silver, far short of focusing the navy, and that is the whole point of me going down that Dominion tree. That's gonna I'm gonna try and blast as much of this block as possible this conquest. I've got 4 weeks. I'm kind of hoping in 4 weeks I'm gonna get at least these 3 completed. I'm pretty sure I can. I mean, these are getting expensive, but the initial ones are still fairly cheap. So, as long as I hit all of my dailies, we'll be looking at getting into phase 2 pretty soon. He jumped to S80. Jaw. He jumped to S80. He was with me on S29. We were in SSF together. He was irritating me in Discord last night about his whale base that he has, that he's dumped all of his money into. But yeah, I'm a bit jealous. I mean, come on, you've got a good skin. Who wouldn't be? I'd still slap your units about in the field, though. So let's hope I get to see you in Gold 3. If I get to see you in Gold 3 on Conquest, my infantry is coming for you, Danny. It's coming for you. I'm going to terrorize you, and it is going to be funny. You're in S25. Well, there's a high probability we'll actually come up against you as well, then, if you're in Gold. Because I think we're currently sitting at 9 bill. Or was it 8? Some people have joined and left. Just under 9. We're at 8.92 currently with 48 players. So that's going to be Gold 3, definitely. It'll be mid-tier bracket Gold 3. So, and I believe this one, I think we have to have a coalition in this next one, I believe, from what I remember. Off the top of my head. Could be wrong, might be wrong. But either way, that is what is a potential, you know. But after this one, I'm dropping back down to silver because I don't really like it in gold. I can't use my navy. I don't have enough ammunition or component parts to use my navy. My navy is it's struggling so bad for running in gold. Look, I've got 2 8.1s and a 7.2. I obviously had to reset the anti-air destroyer in order to get the fighter up and running at 9.0. I think the naval force is capped to 8.2. We're nowhere near getting that destroyer up to 8.2. Look at that. We're miles away from getting that done. Miles. What do we need? For a quick level, we need 80,000 ammunition. I mean, maybe if I sit in the safe zone and farm out all of the fucking ravens that are in the water, maybe I'll get it. The 24k in components, it's not impossible. It's unlikely. It's not impossible. And of course, we then need an additional 6 prototype pieces, which there's no guarantee I'll get them this conquest. It's possible, but there's no guarantee. And that's why I don't like running in gold when I don't have a full gold setup. I mean, I've got 1 fighter. That's no good. 1 fighter is no good to me because I don't have a bomber to then use freely on enemy ground targets. That's Cat's Protection. That's if anyone feels like donating to me personally, don't. Donate to catsprotection.org. The link is in the description box down below. That is my preferred charity. But, of course, if you prefer a dog's rehoming trust or an orphanage that is closer to your home or heart, I'd rather you slung a fiver in on those instead. Do whatever you want, you feel is fine, but please do not give me any money. Just donate to your nearest charity. I don't do this for money. Lilith keep asking me to go on these courses, do this, that, and the other, produce better videos, target better audiences, and then we'll pay you money. I don't want money. Just enjoy yapping about this game. So let me yap about the game, and if I can get at least a fiver kicked over to catsprotection.org because someone watched this video and thought, that was a really good video, I learned something, I'd like to donate some money to this streamer, and then I'm just like, no thanks. Oh, okay, donate it to the charity instead. That's a win. If you drop the destroyer, how far can you get your missile? How do you mean? Because like I have the prototype pieces, I just don't have the I'm missing one prototype piece. I just don't have this. This is what I don't have. So, like, do you mean if I reset this, how much further could I get this? Probably. Ooh, yeah, that's a good point. I probably could get it a little bit further. But then what's the point? Because if I did that and I bumped this all the way up to 8.1 cap, I still can't get it to 8.2 because I don't have the prototype pieces. So, is there much point? Realistically, is what I'm thinking. It's not like I can take on a base with this. Well, I can soak a base with it, but I can't destroy a base. And I try not to rely on other players and army groups. I'm very much a base-to-base orientated player. I'm a base-to-base orientated fighter, because when I log in, if I'm not doing this, what we're doing now, which is engaging with you guys in chat after discussing a build, then I am going to be parking my base up within strike range of an enemy base and destroying it. And then I'll just keep doing that over and over again until I either get bored or want to go play something else, or I get destroyed and sent back to the safe zone to recover. That's how I personally prefer to play the game. And I know it upsets a lot of people because they're like, oh, well, you're not getting involved in army groups. No, I don't find sitting here doing this, hitting a refresh button, I don't find that entertaining. I mean, sure, if I was sitting downstairs watching EastEnders Omnibus with my missus, and that was the only thing that could keep me occupied, but then I've got Bluetooth headphones, why wouldn't I have them plugged in and be doing exactly what I've just described in the first place? That would be, yeah. That's why I'm not too worried about my navy this conquest. I'm just a bit annoyed it can't go up to the cap. And that's why I prefer to play in silver, because I don't have the ammo, I don't have the components. And I'd like to get them up higher. I really would. But it is what it is. Silver 1 maybe at a push, I think now. We're looking at maybe potentially silver 1 going forwards after this. Depends on how many prototype pieces I get and if I can cover an entire air force. The Liberty Howie does more damage than the Martyr Howie to infantry. Yeah, because when it's in bunker mode, it counts as a structure. When infantry are in bunker mode, they count as a fortification, don't they? They don't count as a unit, they count as a fortification. That's why... I'll show you. There is a stat somewhere that tells you. Excuse me. Is it in the journal? Fortified bunkers. There's no drop down for the fortified bunkers anymore. This is most irregular. Okay, we're still getting some of them. Not getting the ones we want. Crew info. I know there's a stat somewhere. Where the fuck is it? Enhanced bunkers receive less damage than other infantry while in bunker mode. No, that's not it. I'm now on a mission to find out where it says that. I know I've read it somewhere. Stackable grid range. I can't remember where it is, but when you get infantry, and they go into a bunker, it's counted as a fortification rather than a unit. So the one with the higher fortification, which is why RLs are so dangerous, because they get 350% versus fortification plus counter infantry bonus, which is why an RL fires one volley and it basically wipes out infantry. It's why RL's fortification damage multiplier. Okay, it's been a while since I've had to look it up. That'll be under attributes, won't it? Here we go. Yep, you're right. You found it. The basic damage dealt to fortification type units adjusted by the applicable damage multipliers, if any. Fortification type units include bunkered infantries, commander bases, and certain map buildings are also considered fortification type. That's why Lib artillery deals more damage. That right there. I knew I'd seen it somewhere. I just couldn't remember it was there. Which is stupid because I went there straight away and opened it. So yeah, they only count as personnel when they're moving around, which is why they take a lot of damage when they're not in bunker. And they take less when they're in bunker, but obviously more from artillery then. Catch 22, isn't it? That's why when you see things like this, you've got a 1.97 fortification bonus, fortification multiplier of 300 versus 1.7 and a 250 fortification multiplier bonus. So technically, the Martyr howitzer deals more damage to units, but not always. What you're really relying on for Martyr is you're relying on this firepower bonus that you can use to basically scooch up your skill shot. Doesn't matter what you're hitting with a skill shot. Doesn't matter if it's a fortification or a unit. It's going to suffer the same amount of damage because it's a skill shot. That's the whole point of the skill shot, which is why I've got my highest skill damaging officers on this gun, because it's got the highest amount of firepower by quite a margin. So yeah, there you go. Did anyone learn anything? Did anyone learn anything? Have I educated someone? Please say yes, otherwise my life is wasted. Or say no and humiliate me. I am, after all, a talking head on the internet. that needs to be sorted out as well. Whale, shut up, Ghost. Well, guys, thank you all for dropping by. It's been good. I've been yapping for over an hour now, and I still haven't managed to go play Assassin's Creed or something else. So, yeah, these little Q&A sections at the end, that's where you're probably going to find something out, because I'll skim over something and not say something that I mean to during the stream or during the unit build, and that's where you're going to probably learn stuff. Or maybe I'll learn stuff like I did, I think it was last week or the week before. I streamed something and someone corrected me and I learned a thing. Never, ever, 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 guys, use me as your sole source of information. I do get things wrong from time to time. Please use other Warpath YouTubers as well. I don't care who; they're all pretty good. Even the ones that I don't watch. To be fair, I don't watch any of them. But whatever. I'm sure they've got equally as good, if not better, definitely better structured information than what I have presented to you today or in the past. As always, I've been the Smoking Cheddar, and you guys have been very patient. Thank you all very much for watching. As a quick reminder, there are 2 codes in the description box down below. They are a limited use. Please pick them up. If you forget and they're gone, they're gone. And also there is a link to Cats Protection. That is my chosen charity, should you feel so inclined to do something out of the kindness of your heart. And there is also a link to the Discord in the description box as well, down below, where you can come and bully me and laugh at me as I stream other games in Discord for your own amusement, and just showing you that I suck at absolutely everything I do, including Warpath. You have a question, Ghost. You literally have me on Facebook. You can ask me a question whenever the bloody hell you like. You haven't got to wait until the end of a stream to be like, wait, I need to ask a question. I need to ask a question. You're on my Discord. You were in voice chat yesterday. Go away. See me in Discord if you want to ask me a question, Ghost.